and everything's alright. Check my vital signs.
Three musicians, no extra bodies to hide behind, just a guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer, and somehow they make more noise than bands twice their size. Today we're counting down the 10 most legendary power trios in rock history and the best-selling songs that made them untouchable. Let's get into it. Number 10, Mountain Mississippi Queen, 1970. Forget for a moment everything you've been told about who invented heavy metal, because there's a strong argument that a large man from Queens with a Les Paul Jr. and a Marshall stack made the earliest blueprint. Leslie West, a voice like a stripped gear. A tone so thick and overdriven, it physically moved the air in the room. West and producer Felix Pappalardi formed the core of Mountain in 1969 with drummer Corky Laing. Pappalardi had worked with Cream. He'd been in the room when Clapton was building sounds nobody had built before. And now he wanted to take that further, heavier, more American, more raw. They played Woodstock that same year. Mississippi Queen hit number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1970. Guitar Magazine later placed that riff at number 10 on their list of the 50 heaviest riffs of all time. Eddie Van Halen cited West as an influence.
Way down around Vicksburg, around Louisiana.
Randy Rhoads, too. An entire generation of hard rock guitarists learned that tone before they learned anything else. But here's the thing about the cowbell intro. The thing you'd recognize in two notes. Corky Laing used it to count the song off during recording. Just a practical tool, just a start signal for the band. Pappalardi heard it in the playback, liked it, and left it in. That throwaway count-off became one of the most iconic moments in rock history, entirely by accident. Then Pappalardi left to focus on production work. Mountain fell apart, reunited, fell apart again. On April 17, 1983, Felix Pappalardi was shot and killed by his wife in their Manhattan apartment. Leslie West carried that for the rest of his life. He also carried diabetes that eventually cost him his right leg. He died in December 2020. He was 75. The heaviest thing about some bands isn't the music, it's the weight of what comes after the music ends. Number 9, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Lucky Man, 1970. Here's the specific kind of ambition it takes to make this kind of band work. Keith Emerson on keyboards, Greg Lake on bass and vocals, Carl Palmer on drums. Three of the most technically gifted musicians of their generation, each one capable of fronting their own group, choosing instead to share a stage and aim all of that skill in the same direction. In 1970, nobody quite knew what to call it. They went with progressive rock. Audiences filled arenas to hear it. Lucky Man was not supposed to be the song. Greg Lake wrote it when he was about 12 years old. A simple acoustic folk ballad, a 12-string guitar, a young kid's imagination. It sat in his memory for years. When ELP needed one more track to complete the runtime of their debut album in 1970, Lake pulled out that old childhood melody. And here's the part that still gets me. Keith Emerson had not planned a synthesizer solo. The Moog was set up in the studio because it was new, and Emerson was fascinated by what it could do. He started noodling during the session, and what came through the speakers was one of the first prominent synthesizer solos in rock history. Almost entirely improvised, almost entirely accidental. A folk song written by a 12-year-old, finishing with a sound from the future. ELP made 6 studio albums in the 70s. They played enormous audiences.
Is he crying? No money.
And then the punk wave arrived and declared everything they stood for the enemy. Overproduced, pretentious, too much. Emerson took that harder than the others. Keith Emerson died in February 2016. Greg Lake followed in December the same year. Two members of the same power trio, gone within 10 months of each other. Carl Palmer is still out there playing, keeping the catalog alive. Some of the most important moments in rock history were almost accidents, and that's what makes them impossible to plan for and impossible to recreate.
Let's look at the numbers. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. Honestly, that's tough to see. Our team spends days hunting down archives and verifying every single fact just to tell these stories right. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly part of the community, so please hit subscribe. It costs nothing and helps us immensely. Now, for those already subscribed, very few of you have made the jump to our membership, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you're the ones who know our value best. If this channel has moved you or inspired you, consider joining. It's the price of one coffee, but it's the literal fuel for this channel. Let's keep this alive together. Back to the story.
Number 8, Motorhead, Ace of Spades, 1980.
Gonna need is the ace of spades. The ace of spades.
You know the opening. Even if you've never picked up a heavy metal album in your life, you know it. That overdriven bass, played like a rhythm guitar, crashing in before everything else catches up. Lemmy Kilmister, one of the most immediately identifiable sounds in the history of rock.
Your eyes, take one look and die.
The classic Motorhead lineup, Lemmy on bass and vocals, Fast Eddie Clarke on guitar, Phil "Filthy Animal" Taylor on drums, recorded the album in August and September of 1980.
Quits, double strike a split, the ace of spades, the ace.
Lemmy claimed he wrote the title track in the back of a transit van, doing 90 miles an hour. Whether that's literally true doesn't matter. It sounds like 90 miles an hour.
The dead man's hand again.
That's the entire point. The single peaked at number 15 on the UK singles chart, not a pop chart number 1, but the number misses everything that mattered.
Playing for the high wall.
The song appeared on Top of the Pops twice. Motorhead, a band the music industry largely regarded as untamable noise, showed up on a primetime BBC broadcast. Twice.
And gambling's for fools, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live.
And then Lemmy grew to despise it. He said in interviews he was sick to death of Ace of Spades. Felt like certain fans would come to a Motorhead show and only care about that one track out of a 40-year, 23-album catalog. He played it every single night anyway. Said it the best way he could. If I go see Little Richard, I expect to hear, "Good golly, Miss Molly," or I'd be pissed off.
The only thing you see, you know it's gonna be.
That's carrying your legacy, even when it's gotten heavy in a way that has nothing to do with the music. By 2018, all 3 members of the classic lineup were gone. Lemmy died December 28, 2015. Taylor died the month before. Clark in February 2018.
7 or 11, Snake Eyes.
When Lemmy passed, Ace of Spades re-entered the UK chart, climbing back to number 13. Over 200,000 digital copies sold in a matter of days. That's not a chart position, that's a memorial. Number 7, Green Day, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, 2004. Billy Joe Armstrong, Mike Dirnt, Trey Cool.
On the borderline of the edge and where I walk.
Three guys from the East Bay who had already survived a decade of grunge, signed to a major label, lost some old fans along the way, gotten written off as sellouts by people who once claimed them, and then made the record that made everyone else look slow. American Idiot, September 2004, Boulevard of Broken Dreams was the second single from the album. It won the Grammy for Record of the Year in 2005. The first rock band to take that category in years.
I'm walking down.
It became one of the most played rock songs of the following decade. The kind of song that blasts from a car window at 2 a.m. and still does something to you even now.
Someone up there will find me to live.
And here's what the critical narrative around that album tends to miss. By 2004, a lot of mainstream rock had gotten comfortable, produced to the point where the edge was mostly cosmetic.
When the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk.
Green Day made American Idiot like they were angry about something specific and real. Armstrong has talked in interviews about feeling like he was disappearing, like he couldn't locate himself in his own life. That feeling is threaded through every track on that record. I Walk Alone, he sings. And if you were a certain age at a certain moment, you know exactly where you were the first time that line hit you. You probably know who you were thinking about. That's what great power trio music does at its best. It doesn't describe the feeling from the outside. It gets inside the feeling and names it.
I walk alone, I walk up my shadow.
Then hands it back to you. 3 people, no backing orchestra, no strings filling the gaps, just guitar, bass, and drums. And enough compression and conviction to fill a stadium. Green Day made that formula work on a scale that surprised even people who loved them. And if you're nodding right now, you're not alone. Number 6, ZZ Top Legs, 1984. Same lineup for over 50 years. Billy Gibbons on guitar and vocals, Dusty Hill on bass and vocals, Frank Beard on drums. The 3 of them locked in together in 1969 and didn't let go for half a century. That kind of continuity, the same 3 people, the same unit, that long, puts them in a category most bands can't touch. And here's the one about the name that still gets people. Frank Beard, the drummer, whose last name is literally Beard, was the only member without one for most of their career. Gibbons and Hill grew their matching chest-length beards independently of each other. 2 of the most recognizable faces in rock history, and the guy named Beard was the clean-shaven one. Legs from the Eliminator album hit number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1984, their highest charting single on the pop chart. And the story behind it is more complicated than most people know. Gibbons had gotten obsessed with electronic music, Depeche Mode, New Wave, the British synth movement. He rebuilt Eliminator's rhythmic foundation with drum machines and synthesizers. What came out later was that the bass guitar of Dusty Hill and drums of Frank Beard were replaced in the final mix to achieve the style Gibbons was after. The album credited all three of them. A later lawsuit told a different version of the story. But those three MTV videos, Gimme All Your Lovin', Sharp Dressed Man, Legs, put ZZ Top on the cultural map for an entirely new generation. Eliminator sold over 10 million copies in the US alone. Dusty Hill died quietly at home in July 2021. 3 days later, the band announced a new bassist and kept touring. Some bands know exactly who they are. ZZ Top never needed anyone to tell them. Number 5. Rush Tom Sawyer, 1981. Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, Neil Peart, one of the most technically demanding sounds in rock history. Built by three people from Toronto who refused to stop getting better at their instruments and refused to stop making records that challenged whoever was listening. Rush appeared on the Billboard mainstream rock chart 42 times, tied with Bruce Springsteen for the 7th most appearances of any act since the chart's inception. Their only US top 40 pop hit was New World Man in 1982, which peaked at number 21. They almost never crossed over to mainstream pop radio, and they built one of the most devoted fan bases in rock history anyway. Tom Sawyer is the song, not their highest chart position, but if you play that opening keyboard figure to any rock fan alive in 1981, you know exactly where you are in 3 seconds. Some riffs live in the body. That one does. Peart didn't join Rush until July 1974, brought in to replace original drummer John Rutsey 4 months after the debut came out. He brought everything with him: the sci-fi philosophy, the literary lyrics, the drum kit that took an hour to set up. If you've ever tried to explain to someone who's never played why a drummer can genuinely be a genius, Neil Peart is the first name you reach for. He died in January 2020. Brain cancer, diagnosed 3 years before, and the band kept it private the entire time. When the news came out, the grief from people who had never met him but felt like they had, that was real. That's what happens when a musician spends 40 years writing for people who feel like they're on the outside looking in. Those people don't forget. Number 4, The Police, Every Breath You Take, 1983. Sting, Andy Summers, Stuart Copeland, from 1977 to 1984. This trio sold over 75 million records worldwide. Every Breath You Take spent 8 consecutive weeks at number 1 on the US Billboard chart and 4 weeks at the top in the UK. It was the best-selling single of 1983. BMI officially proclaimed it the most played song in radio history, breaking a 22-year record. People still get married to it. And almost nobody realizes what the song is actually about. Sting wrote it as a song about surveillance, about obsession, about watching someone who doesn't know they're being watched. He said he woke up in the middle of the night with that first line in his head. I woke up in the middle of the night with that line in my head, he said. The tune itself is generic, but the words are interesting. He was thinking about Big Brother. Copeland didn't realize it was sinister until after it was already a hit. And whether that's a love song or something far darker, I'll let you decide. And here's the part that almost erased it. Sting brought the track to the band as a Hammond organ demo, and the arrangement wasn't working. By the time of the Synchronicity sessions, Sting and Copeland reportedly couldn't be in the same room without a confrontation. The song was heading for the trash. Andy Summers was handed the bare bones of it and told to make it his own. He came up with that arpeggiated guitar figure in one take. Without that guitar part, there's no song, Summers said. That's what sealed it. At the end of the Synchronicity tour, Copeland fell off a horse and broke his collarbone. The band took a break from each other that became permanent. Their biggest commercial moment came at the exact point of collapse. That pattern is going to feel very familiar by the time we get to number 1. Number 3, Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit, 1991. Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, Dave Grohl. 3 people from the Pacific Northwest who made a record that knocked Michael Jackson off the top of the Billboard album chart in January 1992. And permanently shifted the center of gravity in popular music. There was rock before Nevermind. There was rock after it. That's not a figure of speech. Smells Like Teen Spirit reached number 1 on the U.S. mainstream rock chart and number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. By summer 2021, it surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify. Here's the backstory that stays with me. When Cobain brought the main riff to rehearsal, Novoselic called it ridiculous. He made them play it for an hour and a half. Eventually, Novoselic began playing it more slowly, and that tempo shift gave Grohl the space to build the drum beat that anchored the track. It's the only song on Nevermind that credits all 3 members as writers. The title derives from a phrase coined by Cobain's friend Kathleen Hanna, a reference to Teen Spirit deodorant. Cobain later claimed he was unaware it was a brand until months after the single was released, and Cobain grew to resent what the song became, started cutting it from set lists, said he'd been trying to write a song in the style of the Pixies and had accidentally written something else entirely. There's something real and painful in that, writing something out of pure honesty, for no specific audience, and then watching the world take it and turn it into something you don't recognize anymore. Being the reluctant spokesman for a generation is a specific and lonely kind of weight. Cobain made no secret of how much of him the spotlight consumed. In April 1994, he was gone. He was 27. Number 2, The Jimi Hendrix Experience. All Along the Watchtower, 1968. Jimi Hendrix, Noel Redding on bass, Mitch Mitchell on drums. 3 musicians who built something so far ahead of its moment that every decade since has produced new players trying to reverse engineer how he did what he did. All Along the Watchtower became the band's best-selling single, reaching number 6 in the UK and number 20 in the United States. Their only US top 40 hit. Bob Dylan wrote it in 1967. Hendrix recorded his version on January 21st, 1968. He transformed it so completely that Dylan has been playing it the Hendrix way ever since. Dylan said it directly. He found things inside a song and vigorously developed them. He probably improved upon it. Now here's what happened in the studio. The session began at Olympic Studios in London with Mitch Mitchell on drums and Noel Redding on bass. But Redding, dissatisfied with how long it was taking, left for the pub. Hendrix played the bass himself. That's the version you know. The relationship between Redding and Hendrix had been deteriorating for over a year. By late 1967, Redding and Hendrix were barely on speaking terms. Redding didn't play bass on All Along the Watchtower or on Voodoo Chile. On June 1, 1969, Redding left the Experience and returned to Great Britain. And here's what that cost him. Despite lengthy legal battles, Redding received no royalty money from the Hendrix estate. He died in 2003 in Ireland, with very little to show for 3 years of work that changed music forever. Mitch Mitchell's bond with Hendrix was reinforced when the drummer accepted an award inducting the Experience to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992. Speaking to the audience, Mitchell said, "I miss my friend today as much as I always did." Mitchell died in 2008. Being the rhythm section behind the most important guitarist of your generation is a strange and specific life. The world remembers the name at the front. The people behind it carry everything else. Number 1. Cream, Sunshine of Your Love, 1967. Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker, formed in London in 1966, widely regarded as the world's first successful supergroup. Three musicians who were, individually, already considered among the best in Britain. Baker and Bruce from the Graham Bond Organization, Clapton from the Yardbirds and John Mayall's Blues Breakers. A man people were literally spray painting "Clapton is God" on bathroom walls about. They didn't form a band, they formed a concept, and they lasted 2 years. Sunshine of Your Love went to number 5 in the US during the summer of 1968, selling over 1 million copies in the process. Their strongest-selling physical single. The riff, written by Jack Bruce on stand-up bass in the middle of the night after watching the sun rise, became one of the most air-gittered passages in the history of the instrument. Hendrix played it live. It's in The Breakfast Club, it's in Goodfellas, it's in your bones whether you know it or not. And here's the truth about how that song was built. Ginger Baker co-created the drum approach, the feel, the Native American influence on the rhythm. He received no songwriting credit. On Sunshine of Your Love, on White Room, on nearly every Cream recording. Baker's royalty share was the smallest of any member. He suffered financially for the rest of his life and resented Cream for it. Because Baker and Bruce legitimately hated each other on a personal level, not as a metaphor, as a daily reality that shaped everything about how long the band could survive. Tensions between Bruce and Baker led to their decision in May 1968 to break up, less than 2 years after forming. And with that 2-year run, they permanently changed what rock music was allowed to be. 3 musicians, maximum volume, no safety net, no one to hide behind. They invented a template that every other band on this list followed, some consciously, some without knowing they were doing it. Some while claiming they'd never heard of Cream, which itself tells you everything about how deep the influence runs. Jack Bruce died in October 2014. Ginger Baker died in 2019. Eric Clapton is still playing. 2 years of music, more influence on rock history than most careers generate in 20.